Yeah, absolutely awful way to lose a game of football. I now remember what it feels like for every team that we've played pretty much so far this season. Last kick of the game, and you lose it like that, and it's horrible when you work so hard to sort of get back into a game that you had no right to even be in, to be honest, because we start the game, we were terrible. Crystal Palace just completely and utterly absolutely dominate that sort of first half, and it's so disjointed from us, isn't it? Alisson's forced into making save after save after save, and you make the change though. Slot, to be fair, makes the change at half time, brings the player on that we were all asking for in Cody Gakpo. Gakpo comes on, adds a little bit of width, space opens up, Vert starts to actually get involved in the game. Liverpool start to play a little bit better, start to create opportunities, create chances, start to put Palace on the back foot a little bit, shot after shot, not like chance after chance, but like, just starting to get little shots off and stuff like that. And then you finally, you get back into it through Federico Chiesa. But my word, how much I love that man, by the way. Just seems to find himself in important positions on the pitch at important moments, doesn't he? You can point to midweek where he comes on and he makes that assist for Hugo Ekitike. And you can point to today where, he has that left-footed shot and it just goes wide, and then he has just sort of bundles the ball in, really. And then my heart's in my mouth with that Salah stuff, and like it looked like he just was holding the ball, didn't it? But he the goal was given in the end, and at that point, I'll be honest, right? I am just thinking to myself at that point, it's either a draw or Liverpool win. We do not lose from this position. And all we had to do was defend a long throw-in, and then we didn't. We pass it off and look at the football, and it ends up with Nketiah, and he ends up slamming it in, and it's a great touch on his chest, and it's a good finish, and Alisson can't be expected to save 1,000 shots a game. So yeah, it's just bitterly disappointing because they're a really good side, and as I said at the top of this, we had to fight to get ourselves back into it. I mean, there were big questions on the watch along around Wirtz at half time, and I get that people are frustrated, people are feeling like, what are we getting for 116 million? But I really do just want to preach again, and listen, I know it's going to fall on deaf ears at times, but like, you need to give players time, and don't tell me just because he was 116 million pounds that he shouldn't need time. Listen, everyone can need time. One of our best defensive midfielders, while I've been alive, was Fabinho. He needed time. You needed time to settle in, and some players do need time and some don't, and everybody's different, aren't they? So I would just beg for time for Florian Wirtz, please. Let's not throw him under the bus after 5 or 6 games. Certainly that's not the way of it as Liverpool fans, is it? If it's been a couple of years, by all means, let's keep going. Like, you know what I mean? But I do, getting back to today's game anyway, I do really think that Slot will ask himself why he waited till half time to make the change. It just wasn't working. I don't know what they thought was going to happen, but this sort of Kerkez was just high and wide, and Muniz was just pulling him back all the time. Wirtz was just drifting from that left-hand side to really central and areas into that right-hand side. And it clearly, I don't think, was like, we'll give you the freedom of the pitch. I think it was the plan, and I think the plan was wrong, and I think the only evidence that the plan was wrong is the fact that Cody Gakpo then comes on at half time and basically stands with chalk on his boots for the second half. Not that I thought that he was brilliant, by the way, Gakpo, but I thought functionally we were a much better side for having a left winger and not being so focused on trying to be absolutely perfect and cramming every single player on the pitch into one 20-metre squared area of the pitch, which made it really, really difficult for us. There seemed no space and no time for players. In the second half, it just opened up that little bit more, and then Wirtz was able to get on the ball and start actually like controlling things and making things happen a little bit. Same Salah was able to get on the ball a little bit more. But I think generally speaking, I think we just had a bit of an off day. I think we got better in the second half, but even like, you know, how many times did like Frimpong miscontrol it or knock the ball out of play? Conor Bradley had an alright game. Kanate was pretty terrible, certainly in that first half. Maybe stemmed the tide a little bit in the second half. But it was too many off days, and I think the manager got his tactics slightly wrong as well today. So too many off days across the board for Liverpool, and you know, first loss of the season handed to us. And to be honest with you, it was a deserved loss, wasn't it? Which is probably the most disappointing thing.